Hi, folks. Welcome to Lotus in the Light. My name's Jennifer. Yep, fresh out of the shower. This is what you get today. Hey, I needed to share this with you. I felt divinely inspired to share this with you. It's a story about something that happened to me at work today, a negative experience, and Spirit made it very clear that these are the kind of experiences that I need to share about because it's setting an example for how we can kind of change our approach to some of those day-to-day things that are going on in life. Spirit is tapping me right now, like, yes, this is it. This is what you should be sharing. So even more confirmation. So why don't you go with me to try to open up that three-way channel between Spirit, myself, and you. Let's make sure we're all open and receiving um, whatever Spirit has to share with us. So take a deep breath. Wow, I cleared my energy before this, but I feel really heavy energy of anxiety about this. I don't know. Okay, that's not my energy. All right, so I get this. So this is gonna, I think, resonate for some of you. This is energy that I was feeling earlier, but I think it's spirit just letting me know that this is the kind of energy that you might feel in these situations as well. Again, just want to continue with that connection process. Let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath, another deep breath if you need. Open your heart space like a flower, allowing white, pure light, light of divine love to pour from within, allowing spirit out, opening our heart, our spiritual eyes and ears to the wisdom that spirit wants to share with us today. Thank you, Spirit, for the message. Okay, so interesting experience. I was working on a project that has a really tight timeline. Another person within my organization had suggested that we kind of change directions on the project for a number of reasons, or for a primary reason that made sense. It was a good idea. So it was like, okay, I'm going to take the ball and run back to our internal team to see, like, can this be done? Connect with the supplier. Can this be done in the timeline? We're already tight on schedule. Can we redirect? Like, is that even possible within our timeline? And I got some perspective internally and found out, okay, it might be possible if we could meet some certain deadlines. So I went back to this person. We basically needed to collaborate, come up with a plan, go to our customer and see if this was acceptable. But super sensitive timing on this. And basically, when I reached back to this coworker, I was getting crickets all day. And so first time was like, okay, we need to jump on this right away. Give me a buzz this morning, nothing. And then just reached out to him again a few hours later, nothing. And then I'm starting to get anxious. This isn't the first time that I've kind of gotten crickets. And so um, I'm starting to get anxious about it. And some old patterns were coming in. So historically, I always operated in a state of stress because it's all about, you're trying to control everything that's going on in your world, right? And when you feel out of control, it creates anxiety. Or when the work piles on, you feel anxiety. So all of these are elements of, like, just feeling like you don't have control over how your own life is unfolding. And so historically, that stress, I would live in that stress, live in it to the point that my body didn't even know the difference of being in stress and out of stress. Well, it probably did, but I had, like, blocked all signs of it. So I didn't, know intellectually that's what was happening. But now I have changed my way of operating and moved into such a trust pattern with spirit that I have alleviated all that stress from my life for months now. So anytime that stress comes up in me, I feel it immediately and I don't like it. It's icky and it's like, ugh, what are we going to do to shut that down? Right. Um, and so it's about processing the emotions. And sometimes it's as simple as just, like, acknowledging what it is, thanking it for revealing something that you needed to know, and releasing it and letting it go. And that's what I was trying to do. It was like I would stop. The feelings would arise up when I would get frustrated that he wasn't getting back to me. I would stop. I would meditate for a minute. I would say what I needed to say to like release that energy, process the thoughts and the ideas and release that energy, that negative energy out. And then I would feel better for a little bit and then it would creep back in. And then it was like I was doing it over and over. So you could say, um, well, initially I was doing it over and over. And then I realized, hey, the energy you're letting go of is this negative energy around the fact that like you have no control over the project. And I do want to flip a card too to kind of take direction on this conversation. But initially, I thought that the stress was all about the timing to get this redirect on the project done, and like just feeling out of control and my ability to like see that through. And then I started realizing after like the second or third time of like releasing that energy, I'm like, is this really what it is? And I want to say this. When you're in a negative headspace and feeling angry, mad, any of the negative emotions, scared, angry, mad, jealous, whatever they are, that's not the space to analyze anything ever. You will not come to good conclusions. Take a nap, go to bed, sleep on it, come back the next day, go meditate, come back, when you're in a different heart space about it. So when I was in a different heart space, I started to ask myself, like, is that really what I'm feeling anxious about? And what I discovered was that the anxiety was actually about what I perceived to be disrespect because he wasn't getting back to me, because we needed to be collaborating on this project together. And either he was working on it on his own and not even looping me in, which was not ideal for the project, or he was doing nothing, which also was not ideal for the project. But in either case, he wasn't communicating anything to me, which just felt very disrespectful. And, I've had a 25 plus year career in the business world as a woman. And I know what that feels like. And so there's some lingering trauma about that, right? Um, not to say that only women have been disrespected in the workplace. That is not what I mean, but just, it was there. So, so anyway, these old patterns of behaviors, these old feelings and patterns of behaviors all started to kind of emerge within me. And the feelings, they're valid. They're what I'm feeling, right? I'm feeling disrespected. But the problem is those feelings are rooted in um, thoughts, intellectual thoughts or beliefs, because beliefs are really just a pattern of thoughts that you keep repeating. So they're rooted in beliefs that somehow I'm not good enough, I need to prove something, I'm not worthy, something like that, right? But I've done the work now. I've done the root chakra work, the foundational work of recognizing that I am divine. I am made of divine source energy. I am loved unconditionally. I am enough. Not only does spirit love me, but I love me. Not only do I love me, but even the person that I think is disrespecting me loves me at a soul level. Because at the soul level, we all have unconditional love for one another. We just don't necessarily know that in this 3D reality. So anyway, I've done the work. I know those truths. So when I really sat back and said, this is about feeling disrespected, and that may not even be his intention. So I may be just reading that into it. And B, even if he doesn't respect me, that's not my problem. That's his problem. It has no impact on me unless I allow it to impact me. I know my worth. And I don't need to allow that perspective, that flawed perspective at that, to impact me. So once I recognized what really was truly at play, then I could kind of do that meditation again, release the right negative energy, release the negative energy, but acknowledging what it was and being able to really let that go. So that was a really big, important like revelation, and why I think that anxiety kept coming up for me, because I was struggling to let it go because I wasn't really understanding what it was and acknowledging what it was and allowing myself to process it. So let's see if there's a card that we can pull to kind of continue this conversation, and I'll tell you how it went. Okay. So what I'm getting here is Panther Spirit, which is reclaim your power. Okay, so I love that. Thank you, Spirit. What That's exactly what I had to do in that moment. And that's exactly the lessons that I've been learning over the last year. I mean, I've learned how to kind of temper those kind of feelings and have a bigger, sometimes you have to zoom out and have a bigger perspective about things, right? Like we want to make things about us, but things aren't always about us. Like for all I know, he's been stuck in some personal situation where he couldn't respond. I don't even know that, that that's true or not true. So it's like being able to kind of zoom out, get a little bit more of an unbiased perspective about things and kind of try to take a spirit perspective, like there's more at play than just what you think. And so being able to do that is really at the core, it's reclaiming your power. This is Panther spirit. It's understanding who you are. Power, this is one of the misconceptions of that we live in this human experience in this world, is that we think power is about controlling someone else's behavior. It's not. It's about control within, control within. And that's what I was doing. I was taking my power back and saying, you know what? It doesn't matter how you feel about me or whether you respect me. I respect myself. Spirit respects me. And that's what matters. So just reclaiming that power was a big deal. 44, that is a powerful master number, breaks down to an 8. So it's just about, there's many possibilities of how I could have taken this situation, but I'm choosing to take it in a direction that I know is for my highest and best good. Um, and we all have those choices to make in our day-to-day experiences like this. And so ultimately what happened though was as I continued to try to reach out to him, again, just trying to give him gentle nudges, not trying to be overly, forceful because that just creates resistance. If I keep sending him negative energy about the situation, which and at first, again, going back into old patterns of behavior, I'm doing up my instant messaging and like I'm not being mean, but like I'm feeling negative about it. Like I'm being very professional and diplomatic, but like I'm like, oh, I can't believe they're getting back to me, right? But what that's doing is projecting negative energy, regardless of what my words are saying. It's projecting negative energy, and he doesn't need that. And we don't need that because we're trying to collaborate. And guess what fosters collaboration? Love. Guess what doesn't foster collaboration? Anger, negativity. That does not foster collaboration. We're trying to work on a project together here. So I'm trying to foster collaboration and I'm trying to do it with love. And so as in those occasions when I felt the frustration arising, especially when I was doing messages, like there was one time that I actually stopped, took a moment to literally visualize clearing the negative energy from my computer screen, from the messages on my computer screen, so that they would be received with love. And so those kinds of things matter because your thoughts, what your visualizations, those are also energy. Those are real things. So I did not want to burden him with negative energy because that was just going to make what I'm trying to get accomplished harder. I don't want to manifest more negative. I don't want to put that out and attract that back, right? Because that's what's going to happen. It's going to boomerang back to me. So, but at the end of the day, the big important lesson there is that this I had a choice in how to handle that was going to affect my day. And so even after I realized what it really was, I let it go. Those feelings would continue to kind of creep up and I would have to do the meditation again. I would have to step back again. And at that point, I knew what it was. I wasn't trying to solve anything. I was just trying to release the negative energy over and over, as many times as I had to do it. And you might say, well, then it's not working, Jennifer, but that's not it at all. This is a new muscle that I'm exercising. This is a new way of operating in the world when things are happening that you don't feel like are going your way, right? Or you don't feel like are going positively. It's like a new response system. We are already hardwired. We're hardwired with neural pathways with that are You're just already tuned to do things a certain way because your neural pathways, once you do something, once you have an emotion and then this is your response to that emotion, it's like it's digging a moat. Is that the word I want to use? It's digging a path. It's digging a trench. So the next time you have that emotion, it's like, oh, we did this last time, and that's the easy way, right? So, oh, for years and years, for 25 years, when somebody would disrespect you, you would get angry and you would stew in it for 5 hours and you would think of 50, you would think of all the things you want to say to them if you get a chance to like, right? And then you never actually do that anyway because that it wouldn't be professional, but you thought about it and you sat in it and felt gross about it for days or whatever. Mm-mm. You can choose that. And, we're all on our own path and we're all moving at our own pace. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you choose to sit in that for a while, I say there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's making your life a little bit more miserable, but if that's what you want to sit in, that's okay. You're working at your own pace. Our souls are eternal. You've got more than this lifetime to figure it out. So don't worry about that. But I really just wanted to share that. I'm going to close with a message of like guidance of how to take that, how that might help you take that forward in your life as well. I'm going to do Sacred Rebels, but for some reason, I also feel called to do one more um, Animal Oracle card. So let's just do it. Let's see what pops out. So this really was about reclaiming my power today and about practicing a discipline that ultimately is for my benefit, right? Which is not always easy. This is great. Eagle Spirit. Spirit has your back. The reason why I really love this card, which breaks down to a 5. So again, this is about the conflict, right? I'm in this state of conflict and I'm wrestling with a decision about how I want to handle that conflict. And I've got an infinite amount of choices, right? But which way am I going to go? But what I love about Eagle Spirit, even though the message here is Spirit has your back, and that's true, Spirit has your back. Even if you feel disrespected, Spirit has your back. Even if you can't control the outcome of this project, Spirit has your back. Even if somehow somebody's mad at you that the project didn't go the way it was supposed to go, even though I messaged this person 10 times, you know what I mean? And you might have done the same. Spirit has your back. Like you can feel solid that Spirit has your back. And but what I really love about the Eagle card is that it ties into what I was saying before. Pull yourself back. That's the message. If you want to reclaim your power, you have to pull yourself back up out of being in you can't see the forest through the trees, right? Eagle can see the forest. See the forest. That will help you. And if you can't see the forest in the negative energy, actually, I would say you can't see the forest in the negative energy. So I'm an overanalyzer by nature. Like that's how I've always operated intellectually. Like my brain wants to analyze everything immediately, but I have to tell myself, no, I'm in a negative headspace. So my analysis is going to be flawed. I'm not going to have the eagle perspective. I'm going to have this perspective from right here in the trees where I'm at. So you have to step away from that. You have to give yourself permission to wait. If like meditating can't get you out of that negative energy or taking a walk or exercising or something like that, take a nap, go to bed, whatever. Sleep resets your energy. It resets you so you will wake up and hopefully not feel that same negativity and choose what vibrational level then you want to be at. And then you can work on and reflect on those things at that time. But try not to do that in the negative space. It won't lead to good things. Okay, so we want to reclaim your power, knowing that Spirit's got your back. You want to take that high road, take that higher perspective. And then let's close with one last message here about how then I feel like Spirit's given us some good steps here. Maybe we need more about the steps, actually. Okay, because they're telling us to reclaim our power, telling us Spirit has our back, telling us to zoom out. But how do we do all these things? And inner trust is what we get. And I love this. This is a 2. We don't get 2s a lot on this channel. 2 is about a couple things. One is about um, relationships. And so that's what my experience was today, is the conflict in this relationship, but also it's about choices, about doing this or that. And that's what I was facing. I'm in this conflict. Number 5, right? I'm in a conflict with another person that I have this business relationship with. We're in some conflict that I have an infinite amount of choices. That's a number 8. I have an infinite amount of choices to how I want to handle. But if I want to reclaim my power and not give in to negative energy that is coming at me. And I say it's coming at me. It could be coming at me from him, but it also could be coming at me just from my own intellect. I'll tell you this, sometimes the battle is just within, and it's because your mind, your ego, your intellect is used to running the show. And when you're trying to say, no, no, heart's running the show now, you're a partner. Your intellect is a partner and a tool and very important to how we operate and function as humans. But when you try to take control from your ego and give it to your heart, ego's like, that's not the way I'm used to doing things. You know what I mean? There's some pushback, there's some resistance. And so to reclaim your power, you have to nurture your ego and your mind and say, thank you. Like, we're going to do this together, but we're going to do it a different way. And we're going to do it from our heart space. And so 2 is inner trust. It is about trusting that heart space and trusting that there is a better way. And there is, because again, as I mentioned, from an energetic perspective, from the perspective of um, what we're attracting, if I put back negative energy to him or put negative energy to him at all, because maybe his energy wasn't negative, like the absence of his words wasn't necessarily negative. I just perceived it that way, right? The absence of his communication. But whatever the case, whatever I give back to him is going to come back to me. So it doesn't do me any good, and it doesn't do the project any good to put anything negative out there, right? So trusting what you know to be true in your heart, trusting what you know is, and there's some feminine energy here. You have to tap into your intuition because your head's going to be telling you other things. But tapping into that inner knowing, that inner trust, that divine communication that spirit's giving you about the matter. Let's read this. And just trusting and knowing that you matter, you're special, you're loved. Like, no matter, don't let any of those experiences change those thoughts about you. And they can't change those thoughts about you if you do the root chakra work. I will say that. Though it may be cloaked and hidden within you, though it may be cloaked and hidden within you, lies natural magnificence, vibrancy, and true uniqueness. The harder this is for you to believe, the more growth this oracle is offering you now. So because I had done so much root chakra work and knew how deeply I was loved, unconditionally loved, I could trust that inner knowing. I could trust that and change my response to the situation. Your opportunity for growth lies in letting go of the need to hide yourself from the world and to let go of any doubt about the wonder of what lies within you. This oracle brings you the message that it's time for you to trust yourself and let the real inner you out from behind the veil. You are being assured that you can trust your intuition and your own sense of things. Sometimes what you sense will be love, and you will open your heart and move easily towards the source of that love, be it in form of another person, a new career path, a project which you deeply care about and want to pursue, or a spiritual or creative practice that you're keen to explore. Sometimes what you sense will be more challenging than this and will ask something different of you. It might be that you sense fear and sabotage lurking within someone's intentions or in the situations around you. This oracle asks you to trust yourself to find the most authentic and self-loving way to deal with that. Perhaps you've been drawn to this card because you're unnecessarily holding yourself back out of fear or a lack of belief in your ability to support and care for yourself, or in the importance of your need for self-expression in your relationships. The Oracle of Inner Trust comes to you with this guidance. You know what you're doing. You have enough wisdom and intuition to be able to place yourself more fully in the world, to take steps to unhide yourself, even if you feel you have no clue about what it is that's happening at a broader level in your life, even if you can't quite see the whole picture of what's taking place within or around you. You still have all the wisdom and intuition and intuitive ability you need to take one step at a time and navigate your way through absolutely anything that life brings through your door. That's reclaiming your power right there. If you've been thinking of taking a leap of faith and doing things differently, whether in your personal life or your creative work, then this oracle brings a particular message to trust your instincts and go for it. This oracle comes at a time when the patterns of your life are shifting. You can take advantage of this shift and leap into an entirely new level of consciousness and experience. This is, again, you can, it says. So this is up to you. You can stay where you're at. You can move forward. You're going to move when you're ready. So I say when it feels right, this kind of step will feel right because it's bringing you into alignment with yourself. But you may have some inner work, some foundational work to do first before you can feel that. There may be a lot of fear that you have to work through first. So when it's time, it'll be time. Sorry. This is not a time for self-doubt or playing small. It's a time to get in touch with the courage, boldness, and daredevil within and take that step, big or small, into the future that is beckoning you forward. You have the wings to fly. Sometimes we don't realize it until we leap over the edge of what we've known and begin to soar into a new life. That's the experience that I've had over this last year. After 25 years of living in a career, and even broader than my career, just living in this state of stress about, always feeling like I have to be doing all these things to measure up in life, to realize that I've got a co-creator with spirit that will help me navigate anything. There's a different way to approach life that comes from a place of love and understanding, and doesn't judge. And that's really important to know as well, is not to place judgment on other people about these situations. Some people would say, well, you have the right to be mad at him for not getting back to you. Communication is important. He should be communicating with you, blah, blah, blah. Maybe, but we're all on a different journey. There's some reason why he wasn't communicating with me, whether it was his own fears or whether something was going on in his day that he literally just couldn't. Like, there's things going on. We're all on this journey, and we just need to have grace for one another and just trust that if you are experiencing something negative from someone else, that you have attracted it because there's something for you to learn from it. I will leave it right there. Trust yourself. Here, tell this guy that it's time to take a step back seat. No more backseat driving. Spirit's got your back while you're doing it so that you can reclaim your power. Love you guys. Peace out.